Welcome viewers, this is Winshare. I hope you all are doing well. In this video I want to focus on vehicle gameplay on Rush on Armored Kill. Now on console this is not a very popular map pack, but I still think you guys should probably play this more than you do because it's a lot of fun and you're missing out if you don't. And what I want to talk about in this video in particular is the AC-130. Is it still overpowered? Now if you notice here, we were successful in defending this position and not allowing the enemy team to advance beyond this position. Even though they had AC-130s and they have ground vehicles and they have air vehicles, we still were able to defend this position. Now granted, I kind of saved it here at the end with that triple kill pulling up the tank here. That's really the only armored vehicle we have on the defensive side, so we're greatly outgunned as a defending position. But Alborz Mountain here is a lot of fun. I really love this map. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. I think it's Armored Kill. If they did anything, check this out. I'll shut up here for a minute. Wow. I replayed that clip just a second, one after another. Did you hear the sound? I mean, just the sound, the visuals in this game, oh my god. I mean, unlike anything I've ever seen. But, you know, what I'm trying to get at is Armored Kill was just a masterfully made map pack. Again, my main complaint still is the size of the maps on console. I think if we had a means of reducing the flag capture position counts, maybe to 3 flags, or do some kind of conquest assault on it, that would give us a lot more action. And again, I regret that the AC-130 is basically the only time you can use AC-130 is Armored Kill maps. You can't use it on Back to Karkin, you can't use it on the traditional Battlefield 3 maps, nothing. Now, maybe on some of those maps it probably wouldn't be too great because obviously Metro you can't use it on, but maybe like Grand Bazaar, that probably wouldn't be a good map either. But, you know, what about Operation Firestorm or Caspian Border? Why can't we use it on those maps? Now, in terms of Armored Kill, I'm not so sure about those either, but I would like to see this vehicle in more maps. Now, this is post-patch with the AC-130. A lot of people griped again, and you know, when I first made a review of the AC-130, I said it wasn't overpowered. Now, I still stand by that statement. However, it did appear too often on Rush. That was annoying. Every 30 seconds that thing respawned, and they did need to nerf the frequency of that, which I did mention. And they've done that now. So basically, whenever the attacking team, and it takes about 30 seconds for initially to spawn in. Now it doesn't spawn in right off the bat. But whenever the attacking team takes out one objective, they're allowed one respawn in the AC-130. Now if you get shot down, that's all she wrote. You don't get another one until you attack the next, successfully bomb the next objective, or move on to the next set of objectives. So, well, what else have they done to this thing? Because people really did not like this vehicle. As you can see here, I'm in the aft position, the 120mm cannon position, the big gun, that is. And you notice now I have no more do I have thermal optics. I have just straight up normal vision, just kind of a zoomed optics position here. And they've also reduced the splash damage. But really I think the greatest nerf was taking away my thermal optics, because now it's much more difficult for me to pick up enemies on the ground, particularly when they're all shooting stingers at me. So I've really got to be on my game. And I mean, your vision's got to be right up sharp. You got to be looking closely at that screen for any kind of movement on the ground. As you can notice, I'm spamming that spot button any chance I get to try to pick up a lucky spot here and there. Because more likely, if you pick up one, you can kind of see enemies around that one running around. But it's not easy, particularly when everybody's shooting stingers at you. Now, of course, the health on the AC-130 does not regenerate. You got 2 sets of flares, so you really need to be in communication with your other pilot in the 25mm cannon position, the forward position. But as you can see here, I'm just playing with a random, and I'm not in communication with him, so I'm doing the best I can to deploy flares when I think he has or has not. And it's not difficult, but despite all that, I still managed to pull off like a 27 kill streak here on Rush, even with the reduced splash damage and not having my flare vision. Now, I didn't always pull off a kill streak like this, but for the most part, this vehicle's still good, but I certainly, like right there, you notice that? Hit markers. It almost routinely takes 2 shots in the same area to kill one enemy, even with a 120mm cannon against infantry. Like right there, that should have taken out all 3 of those guys, or at least it would in the previous versions of the AC-130. So I certainly noticed a reduction in the splash damage. Unless I'm getting a direct hit on an enemy, for the most part I usually don't take them out. But the bottom line is, as I wrap up here, I still love this vehicle. It is my favorite vehicle in Battlefield 3. I have a heck of a lot of fun playing with it. And to me personally, I think it was one of the greatest things they did with Battlefield 3. Bringing in a complete new era vehicle into a DLC content, to me, was an incredible feat on the developers' behalf. Programming that in, of course, they took flack about it being overpowered, and I was really kind of upset about the community really crying so much about it as they did, because I think this vehicle certainly could be changed, and they did change it. But for the most part, it's still not that powerful. You routinely get shot down on this, particularly if you play on PC. You're constantly having everybody and their mother wants to shoot this thing down whenever they see it up in the air. You're a big fat target up there. As you can see, the limited range here of the anti-air turret here. It's just not very good, and it's easy to take down. But it's still a lot of fun. And again, how I would like to see this, and this kind of goes back to my Call of Duty days, which I'll probably take flag for. But with Battlefield 3, one of my main complaints about Battlefield 3, and I've said this before, but I want to reiterate this, is I don't feel like a lot of times I'm being rewarded for good gameplay. So if I'm capturing objectives and I'm killing the enemy team and I'm being a good player, and I'm getting like combat efficiency ribbons and 9 and 10 kill streaks, you just don't get anything for it. So you don't really have anything to work towards, which is a big kind of a feeling of emptiness, I'd have to say, when I'm playing this game. Whereas when I'm playing like Medal of Honor or Call of Duty, I really enjoy trying to work towards something when I'm being rewarded for good gameplay. It kind of gives me a carrot at the end of the stick. And as a result, you get a big adrenaline kick too when you're playing. This gets your heart rate up, you get excited. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get that reward, whatever it is. And on Battlefield 3, why can't we make that like a vehicle-based type reward? Like, say, if I get a combat efficiency ribbon, if I kill 9 enemy players straight, or a combination of like a score streak, like what we have in Call of Duty, if I capture a position and kill 6 players or something, work towards a certain score limit, why can't I call in this AC-130 on Conquest or Rush or whatever game mode it is? You know, call this thing in for 30 seconds over a certain position or objective. Maybe I can pull out a map or something like that and say, I want to call it in here. And then orbit the AC-130 for a certain amount of time as a reward. That would be a lot more fun, I think. That'd be something simple to bring into the way the game is already played. I don't think that require an enormous amount of programming, or I think that's something they could actually patch. And again, I think it would really just bring a dynamic to the game that we haven't seen. It doesn't have to be the AC-130. It can be anything. I'm gonna make an attack chopper, make it an F-18, make it a tank, whatever you want it to be. Again, we already have the vehicles in this game. Let's just make it a reward-based system, and that would also inhibit people from camping, spawn camping the certain vehicles in question, where you a lot of times have an underskilled player taking a vehicle away from a skilled player. I mean, do you want a 100 level colonel piloting your chopper, or do you want a level 2 private piloting your chopper? So how many times have we sat there watched a random get into a vehicle when we're trying to use a team-based setup for our vehicle? We got a good chopper crew ready to go, and guess what? You're in competition with everybody else to get that. So again, that's my main complaint about Battlefield 3. I think the platform, the base is there. So you can see here I'm in the 4 position now in the AC-130. I wanted to show 2 variants of the gameplay. Zooming in, spotting vehicles, whatever you can. Obviously this thing's much weaker than the back cannon, but you can still wreck with it. Lots of fun this vehicle is. Is it still overpowered? Well, it won't matter what I say. The community, I'm sure a lot of people will say it still is. It's not fun being on the receiving end of it. Don't get me wrong, I've had those matches too where you just cannot shoot this thing down. But again, that's a lack of team cohesion. That's a lack of using your defensive vehicles properly. Obviously the jet or the helicopter's very important to taking this down or playing a role in that, in conjunction with the infantry Stinger usage. everybody should be coordinating their attack on this vehicle. As you can see, it can be the most dominating vehicle in the game, but you know what, anything can. I've seen people on PC get 100+ kill streaks with jets. I mean, are you kidding me? Really? In the chopper, I routinely have gotten 27, 30+ kill streaks just in the gunner position on that thing. So tread carefully when you think or consider the idea that a certain vehicle or aspect of this game is overpowered. And more often than not, it's about the player using that vehicle, and the experience they have is probably more often than not the consideration that you need to take into account for. So hope you guys enjoyed this video as it wraps up here. Again, the AC-130. Think about what I said about maybe incorporating this into a reward-based system, a score streak, if you will, or a kill streak type setup. I can't imagine any kind of DICE developers watching this, but if they are, that'd be my one big change I would make for this game, other than suppression. Get rid of my suppression. I think we all hate it, or at least cut it in half again. I don't care, just do something about it. But I should say those are my two main complaints about this game. But I don't call them complaints, I just call them constructive criticism, let's say that. But I think this game's still incredible, lots of fun. Don't forget about Armored Kill, guys. I mean, I played Conquest on Armored Shield on console, and it was still fun. And I still ran in this AC-130 for about almost 10 minutes without getting shot down. So you can still do it. You just got to keep looking outside and inside of it, looking for ground threats and air threats at the same time. And you're doing a lot of multitasking with this vehicle. But it's a lot of fun. I think it's one of the best aspects of this game. It was the best vehicle. It's my personal favorite. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll have more content to come.